Florida Staffing Association, to all of our members and all of our industry partners. This is your president, Kelly Merbler, and I am here with some of our executive staffing members and also some staffing owners that I wanted to gather today just to share some positive news that we can bring to you about what we're doing in our business and staffing right now. You know, it's no secret that this is a really hard time. You know, that is reality. But as a leader, I think this is where leadership really needs to happen most. So when crisis happens, a lot of times we're not prepared and we don't know what to do. But this is where, as leaders of our organizations and of our people, we need to really stand tall and lead them through things like this. So I've invited some of our members and board members to come on and just share for each of you what they are doing to keep their business moving forward and to stay positive. So we are pushing through with positivity, and I'm excited to have them here with me today. So if I can start with Justin, would you please introduce yourself?
Hey, thank you, Kelly. And I love the bookcase behind you, and I love that sweater. Blazer. My name's Justin Brandt, president with Ideal Personnel, and we primarily focus on the healthcare industry when it comes to staffing and recruiting.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you're in Miami, I believe, right?
Based out of Miami, but we recruit nationally, and pretty much we have at least one employee in almost 50 states right now.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here, Justin. Jared, our vice president of the Florida Staffing Association. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Jared.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Like you said, vice president of FSA. Very happy, very proud to be a part of FSA. I also am owner and president of New Vine Employment Group. We're a staffing agency based in Miami, Florida that specializes in the perishable space, focusing primarily in light industrial. So basically your everyday warehouse workers, truck drivers, forklift operators, production line workers, manufacturers, and some clerical, but mostly that's the light industrial space is where we focus our attention.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And then Bob, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Bob Rodriguez. I am the Director of Business Development of Career Exchange. We do almost everything in staffing other than medical. So we're situated in South Florida, and we've got a 31-year history in this market, and we're very excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Kelly.
Absolutely, Bob. And then Paula, go ahead and introduce yourself, another board member for FSA.
Good afternoon, everyone. Paula Arango. Yes, I'm a very happy board member of the FSA. Very excited about being a part of the team. Also CEO and president of Everest Recruiting. We're located in Central Florida, but we staff nationwide, and we are in a very good situation right now, helping many, many people continue employment. So we're real excited to be here.
Wonderful. Thanks, Paula. So I'm just going to put a couple questions out there and just ask for the panel to contribute, just to share with other members and industry partners. But, you know, right now, Paula, what are you doing in your business to keep it moving forward in a positive manner? I mean, it's tough, that's the reality, but what are you doing to lead your people, to keep them feeling secure and that we're going to get through this while still maintaining your business and pushing through?
Well, you know, that's a great question. You know, every day we wake up and we choose to be in a positive light. And more so now, I try to kick off the day with my team internally with a positive statement. We've done that every day since we've been open. But more importantly, we utilize the instant messaging Slack because we are virtual. So we have been a virtual operating organization. But a key ingredient has been communication. I'm constantly asking internally, how are you feeling? What's your fear? Let's discuss that. How can we overcome it? In addition to that, I think it's real important that we allow ourselves to contribute creative ideas as a team on what do we think is going to happen next and how can we be proactive. And I think internally with my team, who has done a phenomenal job, we have been full steam ahead and we have not stopped. even with the economy, with everything going on, we are deeply concerned, absolutely, but we are not allowing ourselves to take a step back to be worried. We're looking out for the best interests of our employees, our families, and really, more importantly, just taking care of each other. And I think that we keep that line of communication open no matter what time it is. And, you know, we extend that where we're checking in after hours, you know, what can I do to help you through a situation? But from a leadership perspective with our clients, you know, I'm reaching out to each of them. I'm offering our services, discussing, you know, where are you at with your company? Do you have a plan? How can we discuss this? And just really trying to be a consultant and collaborate, because we've never been in this situation before, but we have to remain positive. And that's the choice that we're making as a company.
Thanks, Paula. Thanks for sharing. Jared, come on off mute, and what are you doing? I mean, I've been in your organization before. You've got, you know, several employees that you are leading, and you've got a business that is in peak season right now. So how are you, well, it was, and how are you pushing through that with positivity?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is recognizing what you guys are, what your business is good at, and recognizing where you can, where you need to put your attention and your efforts when it's needed the most. So us being in the light industrial space and being a specialist in the perishable space, you know, we had massive layoffs, and we had a lot of businesses close their doors because they weren't essential. They weren't companies that needed to be open. They were following the governor and the county's guidelines. So with that being said, we had massive layoffs. But what we look to do is reach out, like Paula said, to all of our clients. Let them know where we stand. Let them know where we are. Give them ease. Give them confidence that we're still available to support them. So the first thing is recognizing where you're strong. So that's kind of where we went. We try to push all of our available candidates into supporting roles that would be companies that needed to support the supply chain, companies that are feeding America right now, companies that need the extra hands or need the support. Even if we weren't doing business with that company before, we had to make efforts to get in front of them, at least give them the option to say, hey, look, if I need extra hands, I know that they're going to provide me some people, they're going to provide me labor. We are available, we are still open, we're working on limited capacity in our actual physical office, but we are still all working as a team. So that comes with just kind of knowing your business, knowing what you can do, looking at your business from a very high perspective and saying, okay, where are my weak spots? Where do I need to improve? What do I need to adjust? This is a really, as scary a time it is, it's a really good time to look at your business and say, where can I get better? Where can I build on this? Or where can I improve? You know, we've had the capability to work remotely since 2016. That's just the way I built my business, because one day we had a power outage and we didn't have any way of working that entire day. So from that moment forward, we're all able to work remotely at any time and place. So that's kind of the way we've been geared, and that's the way we were working, and we're just going to continue pushing through. Another big part is partnering up with people, you know, like FSA. I always say that all the time. If I have somebody and I don't have a home for them, I'm going to put them out there to my fellow FSA members to see if maybe they have a home for them, just like I did with Justin. You know how we did. Justin reached out to me. He had a client that operated in my space. He came to me and said, hey, I have the client. Do you have a candidate that might fit this role? We partnered up on the deal. We filled it immediately, and it worked out to be a really good situation. You know, client paid his bill, and, you know, we're looking for the next opportunity to work together. But the same applies if, you know, Paula has a client and doesn't have all the resources, or doesn't have all the, you know, maybe there's a client that has offices throughout the entire state and maybe needs some extra support, maybe in South Florida, North Florida, wherever the case may be. She can go to her Florida staffing members and say, hey, who has the resources that I need to partner up on this deal? And that way we can work together to keep things rolling, and keep our people working, keep our businesses thriving.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I mean, that's where I think the power in being in the Florida Staffing Association, that I think that we've created that community. You know, our values are learn, share, grow. And I think now is where we're going to really feel that community come together. For example, when I asked for you all to come and be a part of this, it was 5 minutes and you guys had said yes. And you're so willing to share what's working for you. For most people will call them competitors, but I know how you see things, and we don't see it as competition, we see it as collaboration. And especially now, I think that's what's going to set our association and your businesses apart from those that don't do things the way that we've been doing them, because now we really come together and we unite, and we already have those relationships. So I think it's so powerful. Bob, you have always been one that's been extremely innovative in how you do your business. You're a very big strategic thinker in how you run your business. I've always admired that. So today, you do professional staffing. You've lost a lot of people too, just like all of us have. What are you doing to push through with positivity?
So it starts with a few things. Our CEO was really big about communication. So we gathered all our people together and we had a conversation. That's the first thing we did. And we talked to our employees and we talked to our clients. And one of the things that we did as a company is we brainstormed, okay, how are we going to get from here to there? So, and don't mind telling you, so what we did is we thought about where's the market for these next 30 to 60 days?
Yeah.
Well, it was distribution, healthcare, and technology. Now, not in healthcare on the clinical side, but on the non-clinical side. So we put a focus in those part of the markets. We also had a recruiting team. So they're talking to our clients and making them feel comfortable that we have a plan for how we're going to navigate the next 60 days. We rolled out technology so that one of the things we had to address as a staffing company is that, normally you don't want temporaries working from home because there's the liability issue and there's an accountability issue. Well, we moved very fast in developing a technology where they can work from home, and we put together the documents so that they can work from home, and it helped our clients to understand that we're willing to work with them through this process. So there are a number of temps now that we have are working from home in a new way. And we think that we have to reinvest. We have to reinvest in ourselves and reinvest in the market. We have to really reinvent what we are as a community, as a staffing community. I think we're trying to figure out and we're doing it, I think. We have temps working from home. We've told our clients that, we're doing everything we can to keep them safe. We're not visiting, everybody's being virtual starting Monday. But the biggest thing is, we got the team together, our clients and us, and we talked. We had a conversation about what their world's going to look like in the next 30 to 60 days. And we talked to our internal team about the same thing. And that kept everybody in a better place. As you mentioned, Kelly, we let go almost 70 field employees already. We hope that's the end of that. But if it happens, it happens. But we've assured our field employees that we want them back, and we're communicating with them as well. So we're trying to keep that communication high with our internal employees, with our clients, and with our field employees. We think that we can build. We're going to be a different company, an industry, 60 days from now. All of us are, because we think that we're going to reimagine what it means to be a staffing company.
So true, so true. And always thinking ahead, that's what you do. But I think over communicating right now is so important, almost giving too much information, because the opposite of that leaves people scared, insecure, not knowing where they're going. So I think as leaders, it's really important that we are giving the message out there. And it's also being real. Like, there is reality out there, but also embracing brutal optimism in that. And as leaders, it's okay to show emotion. It's perfectly fine. We're human, but we have to be sure that we aren't showing fear through that, because that's where people get really scared. And that's our job as leaders, is to really get ahead of that feeling and make sure that we come in with confidence and we lead our people confidently, because if they see us standing tall when they're feeling weak, they're going to look to us. But if they see us crumbling and falling apart and not knowing what to do and running around frazzled, then they're going to follow what we're doing. So that's such a key thing, the communication and going in with confidence, even when we don't know what to do sometimes. Justin, let me look to you because I've worked with your team a lot as well, and you're very thought-provoking, innovative, millennial-driven team with you and Rebecca. What are you doing to push through with positivity?
Yeah, so it's I think everything is being. I've always been a positive person and try to see the light out of everything. We're in a unique situation, just being owners, executives, just the industry that we're in. So actually, part of our values, the I of IDEAL, stands for impacting lives. I don't think that can be any more true than the moment right now. We started, Rebecca, my business partner, and I started 10 years ago. So if you think about it, 10 years ago in 2009, good thing we were naive and younger. But because we were naive, it probably wasn't the smartest time to open up a staffing agency when it was helter-skelter, fear was everywhere, and then you have 25-year-old, 22, 23, 24-year-old saying, we're going to open up an agency when people are, companies are going out of business and closing down. And what that taught us, even though it was probably not the smartest, if we really put some thought into it, of the timing of it, it was such an important time frame for us to get into the industry, because not only were people being laid off, great employees were being laid off, really, really hard workers, and we were able to facilitate and help them find future employments and hopefully, address their anxiety and fear that everybody was having at that time. And then secondly, our clients had to do massive layoffs if they actually survived the crash. And it's very similar to right now. So right now it's the fear, it's the anxiety, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen next month. Aside from everybody going crazy with the stock market and 401ks, it feels very similar to when we first started. And I was so happy that we started at that time, because we impacted so many lives where you have big companies with massive layoffs. So what happens once we get over this whole situation is they have the workload there. There's still the uncertainty. I don't know what my position, I don't know what my company is going to look like. Even the CEOs of these big companies, they have no idea what the next 3, 6, 12 months looks like. So they need to hire temporary staff because they let go of a lot of really good permanent employees. Business is starting to pick up again, and now they need temporary coverage because their fear is, if I hire a lot of permanent employees, I don't know what the future brings. So we're in a unique situation where I'm telling everybody, clients, friends, family members, literally everybody that is feeling the same anxiety, the same fear. I don't know if my business is going to survive. I don't know if my job is going to survive. Aside from now it's touching home. My brother actually sent me a text on Monday that he got tested for coronavirus, and now it's Friday, 5 days later, and it's impossible for him to get the test results, and he's had a fever all week. So it's hitting home to everybody. Everybody feels the fear, but it's about positivity. We're communicating with our clients. And the biggest thing right now, as far as answering that direct question about how to stay positive, is empathizing, empathy. Don't focus on the business and what's in it for me. At this point, it's how can I help you? If we need to put the positions on hold until everybody figures out, including yourself, what's going to happen in the next week or two, that's perfectly fine. So we're communicating with candidates. Every one of us is going virtual. Just like Jared, we a couple years ago had set up, because we're in South Florida, so hurricanes, and we're able to work remotely. But a couple of things that clients are doing. So business still keeps going. We're in the healthcare space. Thankfully for us, it's pretty recession-proof. Although there's going to be ups and downs. Right now, it's a health/financial crisis. So there's always going to need employees and staff and people to take care and providers. So right now, we are doing virtual interviews, not just internally. Our recruiters, I'm the only one here in the office today. we have 20 plus staff. We just hired 6 new ones, and now this happens. So what do I do? Do I have to let them go? The newest ones, unfortunately, I have to let go, or do I want to continue to invest in my team, the positivity, not jumping to conclusions, not making, rash decisions, and the positivity, but where it has been continuing is clients now are starting to do virtual interviews in addition to us. Clients still need help hiring, even though they don't know what's going to happen. We are such an important part of this whole basically turnaround, the V shape that we're hoping for. We're such a vital part to every company and every industry. So again, I thank you, Kelly, for even bringing us together, because we're all feeling the same, but it's more about those out there that have this anxiety and fear. Don't be scared. Like, we're here to help you. Worst case scenario, you lose your job, your family's healthy, really think what matters most, which is if you have a healthy family, don't have that fear and anxiety take over about losing your job. We are here to help you.
Thanks, Justin. So I want to just kind of put a little bow on this before we end, because we're going to continue with the Florida Staffing Association to host more of these virtual, let's call them virtual panels, just to share information with you, with other members and industry partners, as we continue to innovate. This is something that we did to innovate ourselves and kind of change, and it's part of what we're learning too. But, I think right now for all of us is just to really just stand tall, even though we feel like we're falling short and we don't have all the answers. Define reality for your people. That's a key thing. Confidence is key when we're leading. And a lot of people may not agree with me on this, but I speak from the heart. And, unfortunately, the bottom line comes second right now. This is about people, and this is about taking care of the people that we are responsible for, whether it's our temporaries or our internal employees. And that's what leaders do. We have to put the people first and then figure out the bottom line second. And it's tough to do that because you're thinking my business is falling apart. But if we take care of the people, that's what's really going to help us build our business again. And that's the key thing as leaders. I wanted to just have us all come together and just, share. But we're grateful that you joined us. Hopefully we were able to add some value to you as one of our members or one of our potential members out there. We will continue to do this, and we are thinking of you, and we're here. If you have any questions, feel free to either send us an email to floridastaffing.org or on our social media. But stay safe, everybody, and thanks for joining me, all of you.